Hey, Derek here, Castaway Studios, Studio 4 in the van. Here I am, sitting there. It's a hot day. I've had the aircon running in the van. I'm pretty pleased with that. I've turned it off to do this, but all the fans are still running in all the machines, trying to stay cool. For now, I've just been today, just a bit of a recap on what's been happening. I've been problem solving, so I've had three things occur that I didn't expect today. I had a bit of a disappointment with my camera choice. In here, I already had a couple, so I've arranged to have three Panasonic Lumix G7s with the idea, I guess I assumed they would operate in the same way as my G95, which is you can record on board and send out clean HDMI and all that. But these don't do that, I just found out. Bit dumb, but it's not the sort of thing that jumps out as a feature that's advertised when you look something up. So that's a bit disappointing because I'd like the idea of being able to record in 4K on the camera onto an SD card and have that as a independent redundancies, as well as that higher res, and then record in vMix as I do, convert it into NDI through the Birddog Flex backpack, and go through my switch, my network switch, and then back into the laptop into vMix and records a switched thing. As you can see, there's the two cameras that I have in here now. So that's the positive thing. So I got, I guess, so I've got two switches and I'm testing out my network, and both of them come through nice without any frame drops or everything, which is took a bit of time to work out what was going on there. I discovered that this laptop probably has a bit of a wobbly plug hole, and it was setting itself back to 100 network speed, and therefore it sort of explained why if I turned one of my flexes, or the only flex I had in here up until today, if I turned the flex allocated NDI bandwidth to 80, it wouldn't drop frames. Maybe it wasn't sending that many frames, but it wasn't dropping any on the way because, of course, it was trying to squeeze through a bottleneck of 100 on the laptop. So it's back to 1,000. I'm not dropping frames as long as I don't wiggle the laptop. So it's disappointing. I might have to have the hardware looked at in the port there at the back. Not that big a deal. Disappointed that I can't use these two cameras. The good news is that my intention was to get a handful of these to use in Studio 2 for when I had a lot of people, where I could have an individual ISO of each head that are sitting around a table from a small camera, but yet just run purely through, no redundancy there, just all run purely through vMix in the NDI. So so now I'll be able to run 6 NDI video inputs in the studio, and hopefully they're fairly low key. So that's Studio 2. But back to the van, like I said, it was disappointing to find out these aren't the right cameras, but I can use my Panasonic G95 in here. All I've got to do is now get another one to sit in the other corner. Not really what I wanted. I like the idea of the little G7. Even better, I do have an M50 Canon mirrorless, which would be a cute little thing, and I do have a bunch of lenses that go with it. But it kind of irritates me that that Canon. It irritates me how it's not. There's no autofocus with clean HDMI out, which is disappointing. But I think you can record at the same time, which makes it okay for in here. Let me check that one. I'm not fully convinced, but maybe a couple of M50s, maybe a Mark II over here. I don't like the time. There was a time limit as well on the M50. I found that to really use it, I've been using it in one of my smaller studios just as a feedback camera for remote podcasts and pretty much remote producers and things like that, and not so much recording. But it was a great little camera, except for the fact that I think I ended up having to plug in USB and use a SparkoCam product in order to get the unlimited time and things like that. It wouldn't keep going to sleep and stuff like that. It's just kind of irritating. So I want to try and avoid that. If the Mark II M50 does that, that'd be great, because it means, once again, I can use all my different lenses again. At the moment, the M50 has just been designated a camera to sit around in the drawer and take out for still shots or holidays or something like that. So that might be the answer, but my head's spinning with all these ideas. That's for sure. Let me do a bit more research now. I know there's another factor. I never even considered that a camera in this day and age, I know this is a 7-year-old model, but a camera in this day and age would produce clean HDMI out and then just refuse to while it was recording. I guess it's got a limit to its processing power and things like that. So that's it. That's where I'm at. What other disappointments did I have? Oh, yeah, my internet. So I upgraded recently from the Nighthawk, the Netgear Nighthawk M2 I also had an M1 before that, and I used to operate those sort of round the clock here and there, but with the battery out. Number one, I'm not comfortable with a battery, a lithium-ion battery, just sitting there on charge 24/7. Not good for my off-grid situation here, because it's using juice all the time. I know it is anyway to leave it on, but I'm not comfortable. And I just found the M6 in the cupboard there was super hot. It was too hot, uncomfortably hot, where it sits in the cupboard there. So I took the battery out and then thought, I'll just do what I've always done before. And it didn't work, doesn't work. I looked it up, doesn't work. You can't use the thing without a battery. Apparently it's deliberate. Apparently it's because the thing, they don't think there's enough juice, a constant flow of electricity through a USB-C cable or port coming from a computer or wherever you're getting it from to suitably power up the machine. So that's disappointing as well. So now I've got to accept that it's going to sit in there, hot as a thing. I think the cupboard where it sits, now I'm going to have to put a computer fan on it and run another power draw on my off-grid van. So there you go. I mean, the good news is, look, I've got no dropping frames. I've got 2 NDI sources running into this laptop. They're all very happy. So look on the bright side. We're getting there. Find things out one at a time. Nothing's wasted, because I need these either way. I can either run these lumixes as I've planned it and only record to the laptop. If I come in here and start it all up and everything works seamlessly, maybe 10 times in a row for trials, I'd probably consider it to be okay and nice and safe, especially when this laptop is out permanently wired up, where it's going to be out in the production area at the other end of the van, and there's a door here. So there you go. That's the update on today's disappointments and successes. I can switch, take ISOs from the 2 different cameras, but I can't record on the cameras in 4K. That's all. Bye.